Good morning, everyone. The forecast places North Carolina in the bullseye of Hurricane Florence, and the storm is rapidly getting stronger. When weather forecasters tell us life-threatening, we know that it is serious. North Carolina faces three threats here. First, the ocean surge along our coast. Then the strong winds, which may be higher than the other hurricanes that we have recently experienced. And of course, inland flooding from heavy rains. And we here in North Carolina are bracing for a hard hit. Today, let me be clear. North Carolina is taking Hurricane Florence seriously. And you should too. Get ready now. Today, I've asked the President for a disaster declaration on behalf of North Carolina so that we can get federal help as soon as possible. Dare County is beginning evacuations. I think Hatteras Island today, and I think the rest of Dare County tomorrow. And we expect that other coastal communities will follow shortly. With me here today at our Emergency Operations Center is North Carolina's team that is preparing for Hurricane Florence. Along with Monica here, who is doing our American Sign Language, we have Emergency Management Director Mike Sprayberry to my immediate right. We have Public Safety Secretary Eric Hooks to my far right over there, your left. We have the Adjutant General of the North Carolina National Guard, Major General Gregory Lusk, who is on the very end. Beside him in the middle there is our North Carolina Highway Patrol Commander, Colonel Glenn McNeil. And to my immediate left here is our Transportation Secretary, Jim Trogdon. All of these are working together with our local and federal partners to make sure North Carolina is ready. Florence is intensifying steadily. This storm is strong, and it's getting stronger. The best safety plan is preparation and common sense. We still have a couple of days to get ready, so let's use that time. We're using it as a state, and I urge North Carolina to use that period of time to get ready. The good thing is that North Carolina does have experienced emergency responders who are already hard at work. They're seasoned and ready, and we're grateful for them, often putting their lives on the line to help others. We often help other states in crisis, and now we're getting that help in return with heavy equipment, helicopters, high-axle vehicles, and other emergency equipment that we may need, as well as more swift water teams. We have 200 National Guard troops that have been activated, and we have many more who are there and ready to serve and to be activated when we need them. Our best defense is good preparation. Preparation as a state is making sure we have enough people, enough fuel, shelters, making sure we stage resources strategically around the state, and that we're coordinating with our utilities, with our county officials, our federal officials, and many more. Our Emergency Operations Center here has been activated, and we have meteorologists, emergency responders, public health experts, the utilities, the National Guards, critical volunteer groups already on site. And right now, we're getting the resources in place that we may need. Our state transportation workers are readying earth movers and other equipment to clear roads. And we're making sure that our local contractors are in place. The state health department and counties will make health centers and facilities along with shelters ready. And we're always grateful for our volunteer organizations like the Red Cross and the Baptists on Mission and others who have already pledged to help us provide food at the shelters and we're grateful for their dedication. Now, you, the people of North Carolina, need to get ready. Now is the time to review your emergency plans, not later when this storm is on our doorstep. Figure out your evacuation route and discuss how you will contact family and friends, particularly seniors who may be in your family. Gather up your emergency supplies: food, water, flashlights, extra batteries, medications, important documents, and other items that you will need if you have to evacuate quickly. Remember to plan for your pets if you must evacuate. And make sure that you clear your yard of debris that could cause damage in high winds. We know that this is already just turned into a Category 3 storm. It could be Category 4 by the time it gets here. Those are high winds, and debris can cause significant damage and even injury or death. And it's also important to remember that Florence is a threat well beyond our coast. So inland counties need to be ready as well. We ask you to stay tuned to your local news and monitor your weather forecast very closely. North Carolina is no stranger to hurricanes. We are a resilient state and resilient people. Experiences like Hurricanes Matthew, Floyd, and Fran have shown us that storms and heavy wind and rain can affect the entire state. So we must all be alert and ready. Western North Carolina even should prepare for potential landslides from this storm and its rain. I've declared a state of emergency, and that loosens restrictions for trucks and heavy vehicles to get where they need to be. It also has already helped farmers harvest their crops. We've heard several farmers who were able to use this emergency order to work over the weekend harvesting crops like tobacco and corn and sweet potatoes and melon and getting livestock to safety. The state of emergency also lays the groundwork for federal help that may be needed for response and recovery. Right now, I'm going to ask Emergency Management Director Mike Sprayberry if he would give us a word or two about the preparations that are being made. Mike?
Thank you, Governor. Again, the state EOC is activated. We're on 24-hour activation until the end of this event. So we'll have all of our state emergency response team partners, to include state agencies, the private sector, and our volunteer organizations that are active during disasters. We've alerted or activated all of our resources. We think that this is going to be a statewide event, much like the governor was talking about. There really is a serious threat from dangerous winds, dangerous coastal storm surge, and also dangerous riverine flooding caused by high amounts of precipitation. So we have to take this storm very seriously. FEMA is already here with us. They have an incident management team with us. I spoke with Administrator Long just this morning, and we're having frequent conversations. I'm also in daily conversation with the National Hurricane Center, so we're making sure that we've got the latest information. I want to tell you also that everyone, and I do mean everyone, needs to download the ReadyNC app on their smartphones. That's going to tell you stuff about evacuations, sheltering, how to build an emergency kit. Really important for everybody to download that app. And then finally, I'd just like to say, please listen to your local media and please pay attention to what your local officials are telling you. It's very important, especially when those evacuations start getting ordered and moving out to shelters. So thank you very much.
So we'll take questions that you might have for any of the experts on stage or for me. Yes.
Hi, Governor. Maybe you or Mr. Sprayberry could talk about just the idea of, it seems like we've known for a few days now that this was possibly coming. Has it helped in terms of building up resources to prepare for this, given the fact that we've known it just isn't a surprise, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think the fact that this storm and the hurricane modeling has been so consistent over the last few days is fairly unusual, I think. Katie Webster is our meteorologist here who just briefed us, but to have a storm that is pretty much tracking along the same way, and a lot of the models agree. So we do know that we're in the bullseye, and we're using this time, I think, to get all of this together, the equipment that we need, the people that we need, locating our strategic resources. I also talked to Administrator Brock Long, the FEMA administrator, this morning. He is from North Carolina. He knows our state well, and he says that this is going to be a statewide event. So sometimes in the state, and Mike can tell you this, is that you have some equipment, you move from one part of the state to another to make sure you concentrate resources. Here we have more of a problem with that because all parts of the state could be affected by the storm. So it's been important that we've been able to get help from other states, from the federal government. I will be talking with other governors during the day, already had a conversation, and look forward to coordinating our effort. Mike, you got anything to add?
No, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Governor, do you have any idea how the utilities are mobilizing so that they can restore power as soon as possible after the storm passes?
Yeah, the question is about utilities and working to restore power. Mike, I'll let you take that question.
Yes, ma'am. So we know that the electric co-ops and Duke are monitoring this event very closely, as you might imagine. And just like in storms past, they'll be prepared once the storm passed to surge into the area and make the repairs and get the power restored as quickly as possible. I can tell you that over the years, I've been here since 2005, with every year they seem to get better and better at doing that. And so it's going to be a big event, but we know that they're watching it closely, and we know that they'll surge in as soon as it's safe to get there.
I do think when it comes to utilities, families need to be ready, to be prepared to be without power for a while. And this is why we are urging people to have their emergency kits and to be ready for this. Yes.
Yeah, I wondered if we're going to see more inland evacuations, if that's what Mr. Sprayberry was referring to, with the new LIDAR, flood mapping and all that. I wonder if we're going to be a little bit more proactive inland.
The good thing with our strategic modeling is that we have a better idea when you know what the storm's path is going to be and you know the specific conditions as to what areas are most likely to flood. So local officials will have that information as they make decisions regarding whether they evacuate certain areas of our inland counties. Mike, would you want to add something to that?
So, yes, sir. I think that what you're talking about, just this morning we had a discussion about targeted evacuations along the Neuse, Lumber, and Tara rivers. And we're doing that modeling right now because we want them. It's very difficult right now because as a hurricane makes landfall, it's difficult to understand, what it's going to do after that. They call it the decay of the hurricane. And so, but we are anticipating a great amount of precipitation. So we want to be able to provide our local partners with some really specific data as far as structures on who needs to evacuate. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I wonder, as we get going here, can you give us an idea how many people are on call or are already working? You're going to give us some time with their families. There's just a ton of people, and I just wonder how big is a ton?
It's a lot of people in all these departments, but Mike, you want to take that, or Eric, one of you guys?
I'm going to have to say right now it'd be thousands because you have all of your state highway patrol, You've got National Guardsmen. You've got a couple of hundred already on duty, and you got several thousand already on alert to be pulled in. We've got public health, volunteer agencies, so various stages of actually working and on alert and actually coming in. So it's, you know, it'd be hard to give you an exact number, but a good question. Thanks.
Another thing to point out is most of these counties have their own emergency operations going on. So they have a lot of personnel, local personnel that have been mobilized. And the good thing about our efforts is that we coordinate closely with our local governments. And Mike is constantly on the phone. I even talk to county commissioners and others to make sure that everyone is coordinating. Other questions anybody might have? All right, unfortunately, we will be back at some point. Thanks.